Muggable.
Yeah.
I think we're past that.
You know what rhymes with muggable?
Huggable.
Huggable.
Isn't that nice?
Welcome to the podcast.
So today we are going to be talking about the differences in where you live. Whether you want to live in the city where everything is kind of close and commute is shorter, or
Claustrophobic.
living in the country where it might be cheaper, the drives are
Spacious.
longer, but
Nice.
the actual feel is a lot warmer and different. So we're going to be discussing
So,
this.
are we going to be talking about, like, from the point of, like, let's say someone trying to hide away from the rest of the world because they did something horribly awful that they didn't want to be caught for?
What?
Because that's obviously the country.
We could talk about different aspects if
Okay.
you want. Like different people, you know?
I think you can hide in plain sight in the city.
Yeah, but
There's so many people. How many of them are hiding out in the city?
a lot.
Actually.
The biggest safety tip I have for in the city is don't point at people. They don't like that.
Instead, gesture.
It's a gesture better. They'll appreciate it more. It's treating them like a human.
You should never point at people. It's rude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
gesture.
but in the country you did this like once.
In the country, you can point. They don't care. You might get shot, but
You point and they wave. That works out.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, that'd be good.
so pointing is a difference. And gesture. So in the country, you can point or you can gesture, but in the say only gesture.
Well, I like freedom. Personally, I think freedom is a very important thing, especially for us Americans.
So that's part of the reason why the country might be better because you can point.
I think it's somewhere in the Constitution that you can point in the country, but it's not.
I mean, you can point in the city. You can point, but you just had to deal with the
They're
consequences.
taking the liberty to stab you.
Well, that's if you're in London. They
Gotta give
they
it
like
away.
knives in London.
They do. Can't blame them for that.
True.
In the country, they're more about shotguns and stuff like that.
Yeah, shotguns.
Yeah.
Bulls
15s.
and pew-pews. So, for the city, I would say that the biggest thing is definitely the commutes are a lot shorter, and there's in general, I think, a lot more opportunities for places you can go in the city.
I don't know if commutes in the city are shorter. Because
Traffic.
while you have a shorter distance, you still have to go through all the traffic.
That's true.
But the city allows you the flexibility of being able to walk everywhere. That's the. It's not the
Electric
shorter.
scooter.
It's the that you can actually walk. You don't have to own a car.
Yeah.
And also it depends on the city because Chicago or New York, it's a big city. You can't walk that. You know, so it's like
You'll probably get mugged.
you
Or
have to.
push in front of a subway if
Well,
it's New York.
You can walk the streets
I know.
as long as you carry yourself
Just be careful.
well. It's more as long as you
Watch
carry
out for
yourself
shady
well.
characters.
Like I don't think any of us would get mugged.
You might.
As long as you.
Hey, out of everyone here, Bobby, you're the most likely to get
Not
mugged.
true.
Why is
Oh, it's
that?
completely.
They're short.
That's not why, though, Bobby.
Why would you
I'm not
say I
sure.
would get mugged?
You're just
Average.
your general appearance. I think people want to mug you. You dress
Because you have a
Average.
kind-looking face. That's why.
kind-looking face. Yes.
Kind looking.
It's mainly just because of Bobby here. I would say out of all of us, he would get mugged.
You have an interesting way of explaining.
Well,
it.
What a well-reasoned
Bobby
argument.
here.
Well, yeah, you think
I like that you did a gesture and you didn't point. 'cause
Bobby?
That's very rude. And
It's just true. If
Bobby
might
was
stab
driving
you.
around in the van. Nobody would touch him in the city. That's the thing.
who drives a van in the
If he was
city?
driving that van around the city, it would be like pure
I'm gonna
bliss.
sue
It's
you for
incredible.
slander.
What's the
incredibly
slander?
conspicuous.
You have accused me of being muggable with no evidence.
Evidence is
Let's hear the evidence.
the evidence is because of
You
your
just get arrested.
how you dress mainly.
Okay.
Your glasses would help you
I
get mugged
dress
probably
like a geek.
because of stereotypes. Yeah,
Fair enough.
that's why you would get mugged.
You could
Okay.
have like
Yeah.
You
That's
need-
something in context.
If I
You're not mugging this guy.
the muggableness just went
You
down.
might rape him, but you're not. Transportation in the country, you might have to ride a cow to get where you want to go.
I was thinking.
But if you go to the city, you could go in a taxi and you could go much faster.
So the pros and cons of riding a cow, it's a lot slower, but you have milk at your disposal very easily.
well, what if it's a male
horse,
cow?
Well, then you're screwed.
Then it's
Don't
a
ride
bull,
horse.
it's not a cow. Come on.
Thing.
You gotta watch out. for
Well, if I
that
said a
thing.
cow, then I mean a cow. If I said a bull, I mean a bull.
Oh my gosh, bulls are considered cows, aren't they?
They are not. But if you, nobody says a bull.
You're the kid who walked into the pig barn and you said, "Why aren't the pigs pink?" That was your genius quote.
That was legendary.
Are bulls
Of course,
They are
A
cows,
horse would be a lot.
but nobody
faster.
calls them cows.
Cow.
They are.
Still gonna look it up though. The cow is the female.
It's
the
a
bull's
cow. It's a cow. They're all cows, Bobby. And first off, who ever rides a cow? Have you ever seen
Cowboys?
someone ride a cow?
Yeah, what do you think they call them cowboys for?
Because they wear cow pants.
It's probably because they lasso cows.
That is the reason.
Probably.
I thought they rode on the cow and they lassoed the horses.
What's
Oh,
the
No, they lassoed the criminals. That's what the sheriff did. He rode on the cow.
That's not
Lasso
real.
the cow.
That's not
It
real.
would be
I
very
think the
fast
cow
for
is-
a cow though.
I think the cow is slower than going on foot.
Okay. Well, never mind then. In the country, you drive a car,
A truck, typically.
a truck. See, this is why I can't move. You can't have a Ferrari in the country.
Yes, you can.
You absolutely can.
I don't know. I think I would get judged.
You'll make
Depends
all the
on
I
cows
think your
red.
neighbors would like hate you.
Well,
Or kill
you
you.
can't really have a Ferrari in the city either.
Yeah.
You do if you
You'll
live in
either
a
get homeless
fancy
people-
neighborhood with like security
Well,
guards.
You'll
yeah.
get a bunch of homeless people peeing on it. It's inevitable.
Park
Or
it
you'll
in the
get it
garage.
stolen.
yeah,
Park
you
it
just
in the
leave it out
garage.
on the street.
There's homeless people in your garage,
There's homeless
Bobby.
people everywhere.
There's guards, man. It's fancy.
The homeless people disguised as guards. That's where you gotta watch.
That is really what you gotta watch.
So
The
then,
Ferrari's
really,
not
the only place you could live is the suburbs, because nowhere else you could have a Ferrari.
Nah, you'll get definitely judged in the suburbs. Then you can have
No, but you could do it better. Like you see a nice car.
Well, like in the
somebody's driving.
country, like it depends on how country you. Yeah, and also like you have some country. It's like you have a house here, farmland all around you.
Yeah.
No one's there's no neighbors to judge you.
Yeah.
With your Ferrari, and plus
Only
you can
your
get
own
away
family.
speeding easier in the
Yeah,
country.
if it's like trailer park style country, then you're gonna get vandalized.
So I think you can have a Ferrari more so in the country too. You can have it both places. It just depends on where you live. Like you can't
Depends
have.
how much you're willing to pay for security, really.
Well, yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like it's fine anywhere outside the city.
Well, no.
personally.
Trailer park. You're gonna have a Ferrari in the trailer
but
park.
That's not a very.
Or like
That's
a
not
suburb-
somewhere where you're gonna live.
Or like a
That's not-
suburb area. You're gonna be judged if you're
Not
driving
many people
a
are
Ferrari.
like, I want to live in a trailer park.
Like, you know,
it's
there's-
not a very usual thing.
Like
You
you know,
can have your Ferrari anywhere, just depending on the general wealth you're living around.
The other thing is you cannot have a cow in the city unless you're gonna.
why would you want a cow in the city?
If you're gonna have space
I want
in
a
your
bull.
apartment, you would.
Because the bull, they see someone with a red shirt, they're gonna kill them.
Not.
It's like a guard dog.
No, if
It's
your
a
bull
myth.
is civilized,
No,
that's
that's
not
a-
gonna happen.
Yeah, you need to civilize your animal.
Well, I train the bull like a pit dog. I sit the bull on you, you're dead.
Interesting.
I would
It
just buy a
probably-
wolf.
It would probably trash your apartment.
I would buy a wolf or like a tiger or a. Could you buy a bear?
Yeah.
you own a bear?
Legally, no.
I
A
think that,
polar bear for sure, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cool.
for sure.
Oh my gosh. I don't
Would you
think
rather have a polar bear or like a tiger?
tiger.
Tiger.
A tiger is a better animal, but a polar bear is so unique.
Yeah.
Polar bear would probably
I think
kill
the
you
polar
more.
A
because
polar bear would
nobody has a
definitely
polar
kill you.
bear.
I think a polar bears are
polar bears, I don't think like people, because like tigers
you can tame.
will like people, but only certain people.
Have you ever
will
seen
like
a tamed
people.
polar bear? In
No.
any sense.
Also, you'd probably have.
I wouldn't want a tiger though because I don't trust cats.
Fair.
So I'd rather have like a wolf.
Well, yeah, I know certain people claim they've trained wolves, then they get eaten
Yeah,
by
if
their
you get-
wolves,
if
but
you
you
get
never
let
know.
into your wolf's pack, then you're good.
I'll just get a wolf-looking husky and be like,
Ooh.
it's wolf adjacent.
Or a pit bull. Pit bulls are mean.
No,
Pit
pit bulls
bulls
are
are
dumb
awesome.
looking, man.
Pit bulls are dumb looking, but they're vicious.
Yeah,
Get them one of those
I want
spiked
my wolf to
collars.
be pretty. I need a pretty wolf.
Okay.
Cost of living, city versus country.
This-
City costs a lot more,
A lot more.
like probably twice as much.
Because
cost of
everything
living.
happens in the city. I mean,
Yeah.
you're paying for the opportunity.
And because so many people live in the city,
Yeah,
Yeah.
supply
they know
and
they can
demand.
sell their stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Push their food.
But we still have longer drives to get to stuff, and you get used to it. Although it is a waste of time, technically.
It's not a waste of time. If you utilize your time correctly, driving is not a waste of time.
How do you utilize your time if you're actually the one driving?
Put an audiobook on, or you think. Thinking is not a waste of
You
time.
can't have your head completely in the closet. when you're
You
driving.
just like
You say like, oh, this is a
Brad, you should be thinking about driving.
Oh no, I just hit a cow!
I mean, I like driving, but
That cow just charged me because my car's red.
oh man,
That would suck.
that would definitely suck.
Would it be justified? It would be justified to speed.
Especially if
The
it's
sheriff
the
wouldn't be able to pick
Ferrari
you up for
too.
that.
Because imagine how much that would cost.
That would be really bad.
You could afford it if you have a Ferrari.
Yeah,
You
but it
should
would
be able
still
to.
suck if it got trashed.
Yeah.
So the cost of living in the country is way lower than living in the city. Even the suburbs is way lower than the city.
How does the suburbs compare to the country?
I would say it's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
I say, like, depending on how the country is, it might even be a bit more expensive because your stores are further apart.
Yeah. So you have to pay more for gas.
Yeah, further on the supply chain, so they charge
And
more.
time is a lot. Time is very
Money.
valuable. So if you're spending 4 hours a week every week just driving to stuff
It's gonna
versus
be even more if you ride a cow.
12 hours.
Yes,
a
but
week,
you can
know.
use that time thinking in the car, completely zoned out.
No. Here's the thing. I'm not saying driving time is useless, but non-driving time is more valuable.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
This is why you need to get a driver to drive you places.
Even then, though, what are you going to be able to do that you weren't able to do driving?
You could work in the
can do a
car,
lot.
Yeah, that's
on a computer, a laptop.
Or you can be learning, like with YouTube videos and
I
stuff.
do that while I was driving.
Nope.
You can learn while you're driving. You just listen to a book,
Yeah.
audiobook,
This is-
podcast.
Oh my gosh. So, next
Do
time
that.
you're driving,
Do the
tune into the Watch Us podcast. Great stuff happening to consider with City versus Country is the general types of people you're around, like their attitudes and personalities.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely different. There's definitely different personalities we'll go with and types of people in the city versus the country. Like country is more like laid back and friendly, you think, and in city is more think busy, like
Hard working.
Don't want to talk to you.
stuff like
Rushed.
that. Yeah.
And it's also a bunch of people who probably aren't looking to do good things in the city. Whereas the country, you don't have to worry about that half as much.
And
Yeah.
the people are so friendly.
Other than a common horse thief, but
Horse thieves are the worst out here in the country.
Horse thieves are the worst thieves.
What?
Because it rhymes. Get it?
No.
It
has to be
rhymes.
worse.
It rhymes close enough, alright?
Yeah.
it almost rhymed.
Come on, guys.
Almost. Not really. So yeah, that's a huge thing with the city is there's a lot of people who aren't as
Savory.
savory. That's the word I've been looking for. Savory people in the city, where most people there's more savory people in the country than the city, for sure.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Part of it also though depends on which city you're living in too.
Like if you're living in Chicago.
New York, London, those are
Rough.
pretty bad cities.
LA.
Rough. Dubai is a good city.
That's
where
a
I
good
gotta go.
city.
Religious persecution on one hand, but there's no taxes.
Oh my god.
So
It's a good-
It's a really
just
good game
you know.
to play.
Whenever you
Although-
think about the religious persecution, think about
how much
No
money you're
taxes.
But
saving.
if
Come on,
you
guys.
are persecuted for your love of Jesus,
Heaven
that is a good
points.
thing.
Exactly.
Oh my-
Although you told God I only did that for money, I don't know if that would hold up.
No, you're doing it for
Either
money
way.
and evangelization in a persecuted place.
You're
You
donating
wouldn't be
the
doing
tax
that.
money.
No,
So
you're
you
not
donate the
donating.
tax money.
no way.
That is how you
yourself.
get the most points.
You wouldn't be evangelizing if it's illegal.
Maybe martyrdom, free pass to heaven.
You think about it as a free pass to heaven.
That's what it is.
That's definitely how it
I
works.
think, oh, I'm gonna go to Dubai so I can get martyred so I can get a free pass.
No, I'm going to Dubai, so I don't have to pay taxes. And if I get martyred, it's a free pass. to
That
heaven.
is not the way to
It's
think
all
about
one.
it.
It's a side benefit, all
If you
right?
get stabbed, make sure to tell them you're a Christian
It's
first.
not the goal.
So then you can.
I'm a Christian. Are you really gonna kill me?
You
Yeah.
hate me for my love of Jesus.
God, I
so
told them I was a Christian before they killed me. That's a martyr.
Close enough, all right? Family, city or country.
Country is
Suburbs.
Yeah, I think Calvin's right. Suburbs. Because I don't think you could raise kids in the city because there's no way to play outside, right? Because you
Yeah,
don't have a backyard. You probably
there's
live in a
parks,
cramped
though.
You
apartment.
got the Big
Yeah,
Apple.
but
in
you
New
don't want to
York.
have to go to the park to watch your kids every time your kids go outside to make sure they don't get kidnapped by some weirdo.
They still might.
Yeah, but if your
Well,
kids
yeah,
are in the
yeah.
backyard, it's much
Yeah.
less likely to get kidnapped.
And plus,
And
the
you can watch
unsavory
them out the
people
window.
are most likely to go after your kids
For
too.
sure, yeah.
Yeah, so
People driving.
that's
around
the main
like that.
disadvantage of cities because going outside is really good for you. And then also the air quality's lowered, the people aren't as good, and it's just not as good. More cramped, you don't have as much space.
Yeah.
It's not
With
a good
your 10
environment.
kids, you know.
I don't know about 10 kids.
10 kids would not work in the city.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
Yeah, and you can also raise kids pretty well in the country, you know. Get them doing that barn work, baling the hay,
Churn butter, milk.
churning the
cows.
butter.
If I lived in the country, though, I wouldn't have a farm. I would have like a mansion.
Yeah.
Or just a regular house
Have you
without any
seen?
animals.
Have you ever seen like a farm where they pretty much have a mansion on it? Some
yeah,
farms
yeah.
have. I think that would probably be the ideal because you're.
Why would you
secluded.
even want to deal with a farm, though? Like, that seems like so time-consuming,
I
and you
think
wouldn't really get anything
there are
out of it.
certain
Well, no, you
aspects of
wouldn't.
farming
You'd
that are great.
probably have people working for it. If you're living in a big house, you'd have workers tending.
Yeah, but you
farm.
don't start like that. You can't just, I want workers. I want a
Well,
farm.
yeah, but
so I'm gonna-
you
have to
want
use
to
the
start
farm.
with a mansion on a farm.
No, but I'm saying if I lived in the city, and then I wanted to start a family, and I moved to
You go to the
somewhere less
suburbs. It
popular.
would depend on
But
how.
maybe I wanted to go to the country. I wouldn't have a farm.
No, yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
It's just a stereotype.
Like, you don't have to have a farm to live in the country. That you could just have space and just have space.
And
It's
lots
not
of
Yeah.
just crops. Actually, it'd be cool to have like woods. Like, I'd rather have
Yeah.
woods than open.
So
back.
your kids can get eaten by bears.
Well, I would want like a patch of yard, but then it's like woods to play like capture the flag and such.
Ooh, so you can lose your small children.
They'd have trackers.
He'd also have a 30-foot deep pond.
Yeah, I'll like inject them in their neck, like in the sci-fi
Ooh.
movies.
There you go.
It'd have to be a hard to.